Welcome to Thursday Night Knives. I'm your host, Bob DeMarco. Coming up, Fox modernizes the folding mushroom knife, and it's pretty damn cool, I got to say. I get something that I gave away or sold a long time ago back in the collection. I'm very excited. And then I want to talk about how do you decide what to sell? Let me know. What do you decide? What are your criteria? Is it I haven't carried it for a long time? Is it it's too expensive to hold on to? What is it? What are the things? Because I need some of those things because I need to get rid of some. I just need to offload a few, just for my conscience sake. And I cannot give away or sell anything that has been given to me. No, I take that back. I think in my ethic, I can give away something that's been given to me, but I cannot sell something that's been given to me. So anyway, there's some decision making coming down the pike. Actually, I just posted 3 knives to the Patreon for sale. 3 knives a couple days ago. No nibbles. I might show them off here tonight. How are we all doing tonight, huh? It is Thursday night. I am very excited. It's like my favorite night of the week. So let's see. Dave, how you doing? Evening, junkies. Staying sharp, he says. Oh, indeed we are, sir. Indeed. We are staying sharp. Lindbo Knife and Tool. Good to have you here, Lindbo. Debating whether to sell my M390 pits or keep it. M390 pits or keep it. Hard decision, honestly. What do you think, y'all? It's a super neat knife. I could maybe keep it unused to later trade. Wait. What is this M390 pits? Is that a misspelling or a typo, or am I just not knowing what a pits is? And then we can help you. I don't know because if it's rare, you might want to hold on to it. But who knows? We might be coming up on a time where people don't have much of an appetite for spending lots of money on knives. So who knows? Maybe now's the time. I don't know. But let's find out what this M390 Pits is so we can know for sure. Dave, Ketmuk, good to have you here. We have Ketmuk Neshart with us. As always, a pleasure, sir. I have one of your favorite knives out here tonight. Well, I don't know if it's one of your favorites, but it's one that you've had, the Shining Mountain Bowie. I have that out just for inspiration. Chris, good to have you here with us. Blade Ogre. We have Blade Ogre and his 8 knives with us. Good to have you here, sir. 9198 David. Always a pleasure, sir. Evening, everyone. And happy Thursday Night Knives. I keep every knife I acquire, but I look forward to the discussion. That's amazing. So are you disciplined in your acquisitions or your acquisitioning, or are you on a rampage and willing to go all the way? Is this Thelma and Louise with your collection? Are you going over the cliff with everything? Let me know. What up, Caleb Townsend? Good to have you here. And actually, to clarify, what I mean is you basically said you're going over the ledge with everything. But are you a very acquisitive person, or do you just wait for that one special knife and then you spring and you get it and you're slowly, carefully building your collection? Byron Kennedy, good to have you here, Byron, as always, sir. Howdy, Bob, Jim, junkies. My favorite weekday night, Thursday Night Knives. That's what I should have said before. My favorite weekday night, because let's face it, I love Friday, which doesn't count, Saturday, even Sunday's good. When I was a kid, I hated Sundays because that meant next. Oh, the new Spyderco Pits Slippy in M390. I bet that's a pretty penny. But then again, now would be the time to sell it if they're selling out quickly, and you can ride the wave of newness or novelty and excitement. This might be a good time to do that, because ever notice, like, after a while you might be waiting to sell a knife, maybe see if the value goes up anymore, and then it doesn't, and then actually the interest drops. That's painful when that happens. Dave says, got a U-Haul ordered to offload a few from the collection. Oh my God. Yeah. Dave's collection is museum-esque. It is complete. No, it's not complete. Never complete, but it is wide ranging in terms of the specimens in that zoo. Chunky Cut, good to have you here. Hi all, he says. Try to keep them all. Sell, trade what I don't ultimately like. Okay. See, I can almost even like knives I don't like, to represent knives I don't like in the collection, to keep things, uh, well, that's a silly thing to say, but you know what I mean. And recklessly acquiring. Oh, it's a good stage to be in. It's a good stage to be in. That honeymoon doesn't last forever, but that is a good stage. Mark Herrera, good to have you here with us, Mark, sir. Okay, let's do a pocket check. I want to show you what I was carrying today. No, nothing new here, but you might like what I got. Dion Page, good to see you. Hello, junkies. He says, the way I decide what to sell is in order of least importance to most, and goes as follows. First, uh, blood other brother, maybe a body fluid, second kidneys, third soul, fourth and last my knife. Oh, I'm with you. I'm with you, man. Oh, all right. So you're saying it's way up there with your bodily fluids, your kidneys, yeah, your soul. Yeah, I hear you, man. Well, each one, if you allow it to, develops a character if you actually carry it, and then you end up seeing it, which is cool. That's one thing I like about blasted titanium. You get to see some of the road the mileage on it. This is kind of hard to see, actually. Ketmuk says, I have never sold one of my knives, at least not yet. Wow. uh it could be that you're just responsible in buying them, so you don't have to sell them. Tim Simcoe, good to have you here, Tim. A deciding factor for me is if I have any emotional attachment to it. That's okay, Tim. Now you're talking my language. Here, this that my brother got for me. Even if he didn't get this for me, I'd never let this go. This is amazing. But the fact that he got it for me, and that I know he wanted it probably more than any other knife out there, means so much. So I would never get rid of that. But even so, even some knives that have been given to me that don't mean as much, I'm just kind of like, no, that was a gift. You can't sell something that was given to you. I think that's bad form. Personally, I can't speak for you, use all out there, but I don't know. It happened to me when I gave Slicey a Chris Voyager, and I don't really have too many hard feelings towards Slicey, but it did stick in my craw when he sold a gift I gave him after he was talking how bummed he was he lost his job during COVID and stuff like that. And I sent him this knife. I have two of them here. Take it, and it's new, and you can make videos about it. And he's like, okay. And then he sold it 2 weeks later. I was like, I could have sold it. Shit. Weston Probst, good to have you here, Weston. Hey, he says. Weston. James Moore, hello, knife people. Well, James, it's a pleasure to have you here, James. James, in your fine knife collection. It would be interesting to somehow pool. It'd be cool to have a Thursday Night Knives live meetup or something like that. We've discussed that a little bit, maybe a Blade Show Blade Show next year. Weston says, finally got my petrified fish beluga in black blade and denim micarta. What a beauty. Did you get the Tonto or did you get the drop point? I just so happen to have my denim micarta Victor here from Petrified Fish. Suspiciously smooth petrified fish, man. These are cool knives. What a weird name, but charming at that. Chunky Cut says, I prefer the 4-inch size or so knife. Occasionally a 3 3/4 will catch my eye. I'll end up getting rid of okay, so here you are, Chunky Cut. That's good, man. That is a good place to be. I am 3.5 to 2.4. That's my sweet spot. But of course, I tend more towards the 4. That's my lineage. That's my background. I'm old enough that when folding everyday carry knives were kind of fresh out, most of them were 4-inch. Drop point, he says. That is a beautiful knife. Something audacious about the Tonto, but I like the looks of the drop point better. But yeah, okay. So, oh yeah, 4-inch. So what I was going to say is you're in a good spot when 4 inches and you can go down to 3 1/4 is your sweet spot, because that means you have less that you're willing to spend the money on. And that has saved me a bunch of times. Liking big knives has saved me a bunch of times because there's so many great designs out there that, you know, I don't have to buy because they're not big enough. Here's an example. That most recent giant mouse knife, the Nazca, named after the Nazca lines in Peru, which is cool. And it's a I love that whole thing about the Nazca lines in Peru, but also the knife is beautiful, and also it's an axis lock in their first thing. It's really a beautiful knife, but it's just short enough that I don't feel like I need to spring the 260 to buy it, because it's a very compelling design, according to my taste. That is some good coffee. You're watching Thursday Night Knives. Thank you for being here. Actually, thanks for watching, and thanks for listening, and thanks for coming. Actually, so much that I am going to offer this up for giveaway tonight. Tonight, this is a random giveaway to all comers, and it is the CRKT CEO. This is the original CEO. It's got those really nicely styled GRN handles, 8CR13 MOV blade steel with the IKBS bearing system. It is a Richard Rogers design. He has a cool new one out. I can't remember what it's called, but Richard Rogers, just known for his super clean, super cool modern designs. Very nice guy. He was on the show maybe a year and a half ago. And a very interesting guy, because to me, he contrasted from his knives. He had, to me, a very, country craftsman sort of vibe, but his knives have a very urban, very modern vibe. And the CEO here was designed as something to be worn in the breast pocket of inside of a jacket. It would look like a pen on first glance and be light enough to carry there. I'm sorry, my left hand is awful at trying to actuate this, so I'll just use my right. With that tip down pocket clip. So very cool knife. I've always wanted one of these. This comes to me and the channel courtesy of Dave, This Old Sword Blade Reviews. Such a cool knife, such a cool guy. Thank you, Dave, for gifting us this knife to give away tonight. Greatly appreciated. So thank you, Dave. And then thank you, one and all, for showing up and checking out Thursday Night Knives. We're going to do #knife, and then Jim is going to put it in the random number generator built into StreamYard here. And we'll let you know in a little while who won it. So, Jim, maybe if you can remind me from time to time, because I just tend to go off at the mouth and then I forget. We will do a little drawing in a little while. Okay, so first up in my pocket today, front right pocket, was the Hinderer XM18, a classic. Nick Martino, speaking of a classic, good to have you here, sir. And nice to see your buffalo there. This here is your bill, I guess. Steel Ovan, good to see you, Steel. Hello, he says. So this was a DLT exclusive. It's a no choil. And I got to say, this is one of those knives where a choil is actually better. Because though this increases the cutting length, and you might think, yeah, of course you want to increase the cutting length. They increase the cutting length, but it really botches up sharpening it, because look at how far down the edge goes, and then look at where the thumb stud / blade stops are. So it's very hard to sharpen this at a shallow angle or at a less steep angle, because you're going to run into that thumb stud every time. That's why this knife, to me, and maybe that means all XM18s, but they work better with a choil. And incidentally, they look better with choils, but that shouldn't be my point. Shallow man, all about the eyes. But really, it's a pain. And I only discovered that when I sent this to Jared Neve to sharpen a year and a half ago. He fixed the tip and sharpened the knife, and it is sharp as hell, but it does not have a very shallow angle. It has a pretty steep angle to accommodate those damned thumb studs. But really, it comes down to the choil thing. But this is my one no choil DLT exclusive. I used it for nothing today, but it did get some fidget time. Okay, next up today, carried the new Jack Wolf Knives K9 Jack, and I'm just loving this. And for me, it's an unlikely one to love because from a distance, never owned a dog leg slip joint myself, but from a distance, I never really cared for them. And I was also never a huge fan of the spear point, but Ben did it all exactly right, at least according to my taste. And he made that spear point, which is full height, hollow ground M390, super freaking thin, very, very sharp and thin behind the edge. He profiled that just perfectly, having it belly out towards the tip. So you have, instead of having a parallel spine and cutting edge, you have the cutting edge departing from the spine until it crests with that belly and goes up to the point. Well, that gives you a great downward angle to that cutting edge that really helps accelerate cutting. And then, oh, by the way, that dog leg design that I said I was never fond of is so incredibly comfortable and ergonomic. I guess I should have figured that's what it was about. I should have figured it was that and not just, oh, let's design, back whenever the dog leg was invented, let's design a different, like a curved shape handle for no reason other than just to do it. Well, obviously it's for ergonomics, and I can tell it's obvious once I got this in hand. This is awesome. Every knife he's come out with so far has been exquisite, and this is a nice surprise. I mean, I got to say, every other one that he came out with so far, you got the gunstock Jack, you got the boy's knife, both clip points, you have the Warncliffe sway back, and then you had the coffin handled sheep's foot. All of those were, I knew before I even had them in hand that I was going to love them. This is the first one where I was like, oh, okay. And then got it, was like, oh, okay. So yeah, great knife. I really, I dig this. And what is the date today? So these are going up next week, or geez, I got to find out exactly when when these knives are going live, and I have to put my video up in the next couple of days. So keep your eyes peeled for that knife. You want it for sure. Professor EDC, good to have you here, Professor. Bob, Jim, fellow junkies, glad to join in and enjoy the best show on Thursday night. Except for Cheers. Oh, that was like 1,000 years ago. Hope everyone is doing well. Good to have you here, man. We're doing well. Hope you're doing well. Weston says, I love the CEO. Cool gentleman's carry. Yes, and it has also been exclusivized a number of times from different companies with from different purveyors online with cool with good but different materials. I think they had one with brass and green micarta and 20 CV or something like that. Will be good to have you here. Evening, Bob, Jim, and everyone else, he says with a fist bump. Boom. Good to have you here, Will. Fist bump right back to you. Oh, coming from Austria, we have Mr. VC256. Good to have you here, sir. Good morning, Bob, Jim, junkies. Have a nice evening over there in the US of A. #knife. Well, thank you, Mr. VC. I hope your morning is already looking auspicious and you're drinking that delicious Austrian coffee, and you're off to a great day. All righty. Cheers, sir. Or as the Irish say, top of the morning to you, sir. Hero Sticks, good to have you here, Hero. Hey, everyone. Cheers and good evening. Cheers. See, that's another one of those micro coincidences. I said cheers. He said cheers. They're happening. It's happening again. I have all of these little tiny micro coincidences happening, and I love that. And maybe they're not at all. Maybe I'm just being a dork. Michael Morgan, good to have you here, Michael, with your blacked out Yo Jumbo. Those kids should be in bed. I hear them. Evening, Bob and Jim, he says. High class knives, Hawaii. Aloha. It's good to have you here. I like your large, your large Espada there. Good to have you here. High class knives, Hawaii. That's awesome. We have someone in Austria and we have someone in Hawaii at this very moment, and then people sprinkled in between. I'm probably about exactly halfway in between. I don't know. Never Enough Knives 007. Good to have you here. Never Enough Knives. Hey, Blade Bros. Happy Thursday. Happy Thursday to you, sir. Byron says, Bob, what's your favorite to date of the Jack Wolf knives? Why? I I think it would be the it's between the swayback, so that's the laid back Jack, and the coffin handled one, the Midnight Jack. Those to me both totally straight, cutting edge there, and that is not the reason. That is just coincidental. I think because those are kind of my two favorite traditional patterns out there, but they're all awesome, Byron. I highly recommend anyone you can get in hand, for sure. Nick Martino says, I like the yellow version. And now I can't remember what you were talking about, Nick. I like the yellow version. I can of the laid back Jack. Yellow version. Micarta. I got you. The natural canvas micarta. Nick says, can I give a huge shout out to Beard of Doom, one of the best members of this community. Absolutely wonderful human being. I see a lot of exclamation marks there, Nick. Absolutely. Beard of Doom. That's a great name. Shout out to you, sir, from Nick Martino, the great and powerful. You must have done something that got his attention. That's pretty cool. A lot of stand-up people around here, and I'm proud to be a part of it. Okay, so next up today, I was carrying this fixed blade knife. I've been carrying an awful lot. The Hogtooth Knives Tanto. I've been carrying this. Well, I carried this one a lot anyway, but I'm doing a creative collaboration with Matt Chase of Hogtooth Knives, where he is making this knife on this platform, but with a blade of my design, which is a Bowie, and we will be producing that with my in the closet over there in the medical stuff. He will be producing this with this in this same size and package, except with a Bowie blade. So I've been just carrying it, just reminding myself of how great this thing carries at 3.5 inches of blade, and overall 7 inches. Such a great knife. Or no, less than that. What is this? Okay, let me buckle down and actually count. 1, 2, 3, 6 inches. Great knife. So keep your eyes peeled for that. That is going to be, I'm going to be going up there sometime soon. So I'm going to be more word about the prototype when it comes out, and I'll be showing it off. All right. And last, today for emotional support, I carried the Concept Knives Bulldozer, a knife that is, I like it. I just not as crazy about it as I thought I might be. But so far I'm liking it. And this is a pretty, I would say this is an excellent everyday carry design. If that's your, if that's your need. And if you want something that is high end, this comes in titanium. It also comes in like Mokutai. Is that right? It comes in some crazy swirled material. So you can get this particular model like very tricked out, or you can get it in this D2 and micarta or G10 version for $70, I think, is what this runs. But just a great knife. I love Concept. I say just a great knife, but I've been a little yeah, it's cool. It's really, really utilitarian. But yeah, I'm gonna use it for a little while, see what's up, and then maybe I sell it or give it away. I don't know. We see. But this was the one I was. I'm not 100,000% crazy about the front flipping action of this, even though it looks like it should be the kind of flipper I actually really like. Kind of up in the air about it. So maybe I am the one who saved who in this case. Maybe I was emotional support to this knife. So what were you guys carrying today? Let me know. Put it in the comments. Let's talk about it. I want to find out what you guys think is good. It helps me decide what I'm going to get. Okay, so like I said, that hinderer with the triway, totally sweet. I am thinking of knocking down that flipper just a touch, though, rounding it out right here because it is pointy. It is pointy and somewhat painful. So, Dwayne Letterman, good to have you here, Dwayne. Evening all. He says, Dwayne, what are you carrying tonight, man? Let me know. We're going to be talking about how you decide what to sell. We are also giving away a CRKT CEO designed by Richard Rogers. Very cool knife. Very much looking forward to getting it out of my area here so that it is no longer a temptation because it is a cool knife. And I feel like it's one that I should have in my collection. Logan 2070. Good to have you here, Logan. I don't sell any knives, but I've given several away to family and friends. That's a good, that's a good policy there. A few are in the drawer of no return. Junk ones or ones from some issue. They might all just end up in the recycle bin. Yeah. I mean, it is good to have some junk drawer knives and to have them. Actually, those become the most valued in a way because they actually do get the most use. And yeah, and those knives that get the most use develop the most character. Be sure you guys be sure to put in the comments somewhere #knife if you want this for free. You might win it. It is possible. This is the CEO by CRKT, and actually, your chances are probably quite good to win this. So put #knife in the comments, and then in a short while, we're gonna run that through a random number generator and see who gets it. Nick says null knives. Yeah, those null knives are cool. That new one, I can't remember what it's called. And Una knives are two knife makers that are at the top to get list knife makers for sure. Their stuff is just absolutely gorgeous. Una, I'm trying to remember. Una is mostly fixed blades, right? Maybe evocative of the Scottish type, and then the null knife, null knives knife is really cool. Hey KC, how's it going? What's up, Bob, Jim, junkies, non-junkies? He says, knives fast. Casey, good to have you here, man. I believe the Pinion pre-order is still open, and I am very excited to get mine. I got the micarta black version, but this is Casey's Tempest Knives. Go check them out, tempestknives.com, and get on that pre-order to get the Pinion. What a sweet everyday carry knife for sure. Lots of style, and then also lots of fidget if that's your thing. And even if it's not, sometimes it might be. So yeah, definitely go check that out. Casey, good to have you here with us. Hero Sticks says, today's carry, big work day. American Blade Works version 6 has broken in beautifully. Very nice. I love mine. My version 5. The CRKT catch-all, that's the new one, right? Is that a new one with the lock, deadbolt lock? Which after giving up on CRKT folders is a really good budget big fixie. Okay, so it's nothing like what I was saying. I was thinking of that tiny new doesn't matter. Good to have you here, man. Mid as always. G-Ball at the in-laws. What's up, everybody? He says, I like your name, G-Ball at the in-laws. He's got the sword and the knife. Nick Martino, the Fenrir from Concept is awesome too. Which one is the Fenrir? There are a couple of knives out there, Fenrir. There's the Damn Designs, and then there's the Concept, and then there's one other, and I can't remember who it is, but I think it might be a custom. Blade Ogre says, carrying the Vosti Nightshade. Cool knife. Very cool knife. The Manly Wasp in S90V. The Spider Coast Smock. Very nice. The Arcform Slimfoot. Very nice. The GEC 29 Stockyard Whittler in Molasses and Grits Acrylic. The ASK. The Finch Lucky number 13 in Abalone. And LT Wright Little Muck. Okay, I got to count this time. Nightshade Wasp. Smock Slimfoot. Whittler. ASK, Finch, and LT Wright. Okay, so 8. I was thinking for a second that you had broken your record, which I think is 8 on this show anyway. Oh, this thing. Yes, this is cool. And actually, thank you, Jim. The one that you pulled up is the one that I would get were I to get the Fenrir. I like that. This is one which I wouldn't mind a little less blade choil, a little more cutting edge to even it out. But I love the reverse bolster lock or whatever they're calling that thing. Jim, can you bring up that last comment before Dave's? We are all junkies. Okay, cool. yes, we are all junkies. Dave says, carrying a new Chavez Ultramar Redención 229 Tanto and my BlackRock Virus Pakal fixed blade. Man, that's a class carry. I like that. Dave loaned me that Virus. I do love BlackRock knives. I got one of them, and Dave has a couple, and they are beautiful. That Virus was a sweet one. But also, yeah, nicely done, sir. 9198 David carried my Demco 8015 Max Ace Goliath 2.0. Is that the Bowie? And the CRK Umnumzan drop point today. Very nice. Ooh, that's a good size span, thickness span, the whole 9 yards. Logan says, I'm sorry, Logan 2070. That shouldn't be so hard for me to say. Logan 2070. Front flippers are a fad that ruin otherwise good designs. Huh. You know, I would have agreed with you a year ago, but I've kind of grown to like them because here's one thing, Logan. I tend to do this a lot with my flippers anyway. I tend to use my thumb on the flipper tab anyway. I don't know why. Just maybe I find it gratifying, but I find myself doing that quite a bit anyway. So having the front flipper, I have begun to feel it makes sense. But like all fads, it will level out, and then there will be some knives with it and some knives without it. And not every knife will feel obligated to have a front flip option. Some knives, like most of the Emerson knives and some others, have been incidental front flippers for years just because they have that tang hanging over. Mark Herrera says, Tangram Santa Fe, awesome knife. Love that. And the Manly Comrade in 1.2379 D2. Oh, okay. Gotcha. This must be a European sort of D2 called 1.2379. That's so charmless, people. Miller 86, good to have you here, Miller. Very cool dragon flying through space. I like that. Carried the Vero Synapse Gen 2 today. Very nice. What were the changes on the Gen 2? Was it the clip? Okay, so apparently we have 50 people watching, but only 28 people interested in getting a free knife. So if you have yet to put hashtag knife in the comment below, do it. And then if you win it and you don't want it, you can give it away as a gift to someone who needs it. Perhaps the CEO of the place where you work. Logan says, today's carry, the Spyderco Manix 2. Okay, Logan. I've been up in the air about the Manix 2 versus the Shaman. I've had the Manix 2 XL in my collection. I had that a number of years ago. So I know how good that is. Never had the Shaman, but I can extrapolate from the look of it and then from using other compression locks. So I'm leaning more towards Manix 2. What do you think? Weston Probe says, I carried my new Beluga. Oh my goodness gracious. So we've got two new Beluga folks. Oh wait, no, that was Weston talking the first time. Okay, so that's what you carried. Dwayne Letterman, Kaiser Comet. That is a cool little knife. So that Kaiser Comet with the bolsters and everything. Now I'm forgetting the gentleman's name, but he's a graphic designer and just kind of banged out this knife design. And well, I don't mean that he did it carelessly. I just mean he's not a knife designer, and this is his first knife design. I think it looks really great. And people seem to like it a lot. Professor EDC, carrying my 0562, the one that you took apart in your last video, I presume. K9 Fat Carbon, very nice. And the QSP Neck Mook. Very nice. So that's that QSP Neckmuck has a sort of Nesmuk blade, but with that sort of Le Duc handle, right? Okay. Caleb says, today I had the Spyderco Subvert, the HEA design Hunter, and one of my custom Swiss Army knives. The HEA design Hunter, is that the new one? The new Hunter or the old one? Curious. Grimsmo Norseman says, will be Spyderco Smock, Concept Preta 2, very nice. Kaiser Big Lighter XL, very nice. Kaiser Mini Sheepdog and Olight Baton. That's a nice rounded out carry. I have my Preta 2 here. I showed you this. Well, I have two Preta 2s here. One of my favorite knives coming out of Concept. Really great. However, I am selling my Thai version. This one I am getting gone. It is a really, really excellent. It's a hard one to sell, but it gets very little carry, and this one gets a lot of carry. So I don't know. I just figured since I have the Omnums on with a Tonto blade very similar, I would move this along to a house that will give it the attention it deserves. Mr. VC256 says, today I got my Brown Knives FSD, very nice. My Jack Wolf Knives Midnight Jack, and I love that Midnight Jack. I wonder what handle you have. And a Spyderco Shaman Blade HQ M4. Ooh, those all sound, that's very nice. And my absolute grail watch I achieved to acquire this week. An Omega Speedmaster Moon Watch. I think I know exactly which one that is, because I think I saw Joe Rogan give that watch to someone on his show. The Moon Watch by Omega. God, that's such a beautiful knife, or beautiful watch. Sorry, I'm used to saying knife. I always thought that Omega would be one of my grail watches as well. Very nicely done, sir. Wear it in good health for many, many years and then pass it on down. Michael Morgan says, today's carry, Spyderco Stretch 2 XL lightweight. Those are pretty cool looking, I got to say. I must say, those are pretty cool looking. Byron says, carried the Cold Steel Recon 1 Spear Point. Excellent. The Orion Solaris as a loaner, and the off-grid all-day neck knife fixie. I just went on off-grid the other day to check that knife out, and it was not there. So they must have, good for them, sold that all out completely. So presumably they'll be making more. Kepmuk says, carried a Malone Knives Kephart, a Bear Forest Knives GT3, a Wesson Allman, an Exocet Bounty Hunter, and my Eldris. Very nice. Oh, that Exocet is kind of the Bounty Hunter Exocet is the dark horse in that lineup. Hero Stick says, hit that like button. That's right. Hit that like button. Come on. Or smash it, whatever the kids say. Chunky Cut says, today was a Microtech day, SOCOM Bravo Elite, and the new Annex. I got to check that new Annex out. I am very excited that is something they decided to do. Will B says, I'm still looking for that Warncliffe fixed blade 3.5 to 4.5 in stainless steel, similar to Spyderco Ronin 2. Why not the Spyderco Ronin 2, Will? Or are you looking to have one made? Because if you are, I think maybe you should take a look at BGM Knives. He's got a model that might be right up your alley. I know it was sort of inspired by the Yojimbo, but it's a fixed blade in that size range. You should check that out. That might be what the doctor ordered, A, and B, his prices are very reasonable still. Oh my God. I don't know how old that water was, but it's dusty. Ugh. Never Enough Knives 007 says, today the offensive industry Fenrir, another Fenrir, the JK Custom EDC Kephart, Spyderco Manix XL. That's a nice knife. The Swiss Army Knife Tinker. The offensive industries Fenrir is a fixed blade, right? That looks like kind of like a ski and do. Is that right? I'm trying to remember now. No, it's that one is a Saks, I believe. Oregon Knife Guy, good to see you here, Oregon Knife Guy. It's been a while. I hope you are doing well, sir. I have given away some entry level knife guy knives to my family, but never sold any. I like that expression, entry level knife guy knives. I know what you mean. Like you've given away a Civivi or two, or maybe a Spyderco uh, Endura. This was my pool knife tonight. Todd Carr, good to have you here, Todd. Evening, everyone, he says. Of course, this is the old VG10 Endura. This was my pool knife. I always bring a knife to the pool, something thin, something light, just in case. I don't know, we always have food there of some sort, and it frequently comes up. So I don't go there much with, self-defense in mind, but I do always bring a knife. That was tonight's. Let's see. I think these are some of the biggies this summer. This one got a lot. The Preda 2 got a lot of use, though I don't like the way putting micarta in a wet swimsuit will bleach the handle. I learned. So these two definitely kind of started to fall out of favor. And then where is the other? Oh, yeah. This one got some knife time too. And I'm sorry, this kudu, this like non-locking kudu, this is a great cheap knife. That's 5CR15 MOV, people. So you're not gonna set the world on fire with that knife, but it is a great and handy little cheapo. I don't know. I really like it though. And it just kind of sits on my desk here, or this week it's been going to the pool. Logan 2070 says, I abused the first Benchmade orange Griptilian in N690. Carry it working in the yard. It's a great beater and won't rust at all. Very nice. N690, that's a pretty decent steel. It's a kind of a mid-level. It gets super wicked sharp. It is very stain resistant. It's a great everyday steel. Why not? Yvonne, and I say why not because we usually don't, when we think of the bowler steels, we usually think of M390 and not N690. Yvonne's good to have you here. Yvonne's Knife Addict Life. Excuse me, Yvonne's. Howdy, Bob and Tribe. Howdy to you, sir. Man, I just can't stop drinking the coffee tonight. Michael Flamian, GTC Custom. So this is Gus Ciccini, Custom Islet 2 Flipper Integral. Ooh, and then of course the Randall M14, Model 14, very nice, with CDT, Spyderco Arc Neck, and neck knife, and Victorinox Cadet on the keys. Wait, what is CDT again? I always forget. But very nice, man. A GTC, that's a pretty refined carry, my man. Nicely done. Grateful Panic, good to have you here. Howdy, brother Bob, brother Jim, Peanut Gallery. Well, it's so good to have you here, man. What are you carrying? Let us know. Put it in the comment. I want to know what you got on you. Will B says, I got to handle opinion at River's Edge Cutlery on Saturday. Oh, that's cool. River's Edge Cutlery, but they opened up a new shop, right? And a lot of our friends had knives there, and the opinion was one of them. Very cool. That was very cool to see that. Anyway, very, very happy. I pre-ordered. It feels great in hand. It really does. And it's a great blade too. Very useful blade. Yeah, nice. River's Edge Cutlery. That's where this comes from. This was purchased at River's Edge Cutlery by Lavender Pants. I have not seen hide nor hair of Lavender Pants in some time. I hope he is well. Mike Flamian says, with XHP 14C28 and Damascus and Timascus Integral. Wow. Nice. I like how you roll, sir. Logan says, I'm pretty careful with my classic ZTs. It took a long time to chase some of those down. What do you consider classic, Logan? Are you talking like the 550? Or are you going earlier, like the 200? I like the 200. I like them all. I like them almost all. High Class Hawaiian Knives says, I'm sorry, High Class Knives Hawaii says EDC today and pretty much every day during the week. 2 categories in the pockets. Cold Steel Recon 1 Spear Point S35 VN. Very nice. Very nice. I appreciate that. I do love Cold Steel. The Recon one is awesome. I have it, or have had it in XHP and OS 8, but I'll take it in whatever they got it in. Mike Flamian says, just got my 10th Shirogorov today in the mail, so I'm still a bit tingly. Congratulations, Mike. That's awesome. That is a solid sub collection. My gosh. Grateful Panic, the F5.5 still time coin. So this is a coin that you carry for luck. Is that right? Or is that a coin you carry just to fidget with? Is it a like a hope coin? Is that what you call it? Emo's Milk Haptic coin and Lancelot leather wallet. I've seen your Lancelot leather wallet and think that is cool. What is that? What is a haptic coin? What is that? Is that a fidget? Is there a new generation of fidget things out? Because I've been noticing Lefty putting up a lot of videos about fidget things, and I just don't click on them because it's not really my personal area of interest, but I find it interesting because I know that he in particular is a very fidget oriented guy. I once offered to send him fixed blades to check out, and he very graciously was like, thank you, but no, it's not really my thing. I like fidget. And so, or I like to fidget. So I'm just curious because knives are fidget adjacent. So just curious. James Moore says, today carrying the Drop Point Gareth Bull Chamois. Very nice. With brass dust, carbon fiber scales. That sounds cool. And Mokutai pivot collars. Very nice. Well, I love the Chamois. I also love his, Mura? Actually, I like the Mura more, personally, the design. But I don't know if he ever did that as a custom or if that was just a design that he did with Drop. High Class Knives Hawaii says, EDC on me, Cold Steel Recon 1 Spear Point. Very nice. Cold Steel Mini Tough Light, serrated. The Leatherman Free P4 and the Olight 15T in a sling bag. Cold Steel Pendleton Hunter. Oh, I like that knife. And the Olight M2R Warrior Pro. Very nice. You're nicely set up. We've had a couple of people, 3 people, I think, tonight with the Recon 1 Spear Point. I only have the I have the Recon ones in large, or the XL. Nick Martino says they're actually both worth having, Bob. Plus, it rounds out your Spyderco collection. Okay, all right. You're right, and I cannot deny that. But what am I supposed to do with that information? And which would I get first? Todd Carr says today was the Leatherman Surge, the Gerber Dime, the Gerber Shard, double Gerber today, Todd. The SD Classic, the Cold Steel Formax Scout, the Kubi KU322, Benchmade Mini Freak in the 5th pocket. All right. Oh, that sounds nice. I don't think I've ever handled that, but okay. So Leatherman Surge, Gerber Dime, Gerber Shard, SD Classic. So Swiss Army Knife Classic, Cold Steel Formax, Kubi, and so 7. Respectable, Todd. Very respectable, but what is the Gerber? I know what the Shard is, but what's the Dime? I Love Knives. Good to have you here. I Love Knives. Tuya NV2. That's a cool knife. Leatherman Rebar. The Gerber Pry. And the Olight SR2. What the hell is a Dango? No, what is a Dango DO3? Is that another light? I don't know lights. What's a Dango? Please let me know. Jim, who was that? So that I don't say, what was he talking about when he answers? I Love Knives. Okay, sorry. It's late. Dango, I'll remember. Hero Sticks. I'm curious, for those that are carrying 3 or more knives, where do you carry them? Something in every pocket? Okay, so I don't know if that's how he said that. That was my own interpretation. Where do you carry them? Something in every pocket? He asks. Let's see. I do, waistband, front pocket, back pocket. That's 3 knives. And then sometimes, like a pocket slip loose in the pocket. Yeah, that's how I carry 4. High Class says, hey, Bob, I heard your Recon XL needs a new home too. No, No, I do have the Tonto, you'll be happy to know, and I have the Bowie, the clip point. Both awesome, both two different blade coatings, both S35 or XHP, I think, XHP. Casey says, I had the Tempest Knives Mach 51. Very classy carry. Very exclusive and awesome. That is a cool knife. And who knows, maybe after the Pinion, maybe that makes a comeback. No pressure, of course. The Jack Wolf Knives K9 Jack. Love that. And the Honey Badger small worn cleaver. What do you think of that Honey Badger? I'm assuming you like it, but I've never gotten one. And they have so many cool blade shapes. And I don't know. Should I get one? Should I get a Honey Badger, Casey? Josh Worth says, got the MT Annex, the Microtech Annex, and the Wii Esprit today. I remember when the Wii Esprit came out, but I can't remember what that one looks like. Mr. VC says, had to get the Purple Haze Fat Carbon Midnight Jack. So beautiful. I think I now got a knife in each fat carbon variation available. Makes my spine tingle. That's pretty sweet. I thought about doing that, but I love my Carta too much too. So Chris McNair says, what's up, junkies? Bob and Jim, evening. Happy Thursday night. Nice, everyone. Chris McNair, good to have you here. Speaking of Chris, I was just showing this off. He's like, that was ages ago. Will you never let it go? Chris, it was a good trade. I still love this thing. One of my pool knives for the week. Manny Z says, hey there, Bob, Jim, and everybody. Manny, it's good to have you here. For those who are just joining us, if you just simply put in the comment section #knife, you very well may win this Richard Rogers designed CRKT CEO, which I would send you in the mail once you send me your address. But we put the #knife comments or knife #knife comments in the random number generator that is part of StreamYard here, and you win right here. Cut down Tang. Oh, that's right. Cut down Tang. You've told me that before. Hey, Shane, good to have you here. He was carrying a Chris Reeve Sabenza, a classic and awesome carry. I had my Omnums on me this week, and man alive, I do love this knife. What a great knife and a great cutter. I did have to use this to cut cardboard at work. It was good. And this worked very, very well. Yvonne says 2 coins that connect by magnets. Oh, you can manipulate them by rotating it. That's cool. I could see how that could be very, very tactily gratifying. So yeah, 55 people watching and only 30 have entered #knife. So, you know, just put it in there if you want to win this knife. I could send it out to you. If you don't want it, you could give it away. But this comes courtesy of Dave, This Old Sword Blade Reviews. Again, thank you, Dave, for gifting this beautiful knife to the Knife Junkie podcast. Cue Ball 981. Good to have you here, Cue Ball. Today I had both the 80 20.5s on me. Add some Lynch clip goodness to both. Also, my new Paramilitary 2 in crew wear with me. Thanks to your website, also sporting a Lynch deep carry pocket clip. Well, sweet, man. That's great. I also love the Lynch style clips and those deep carry clips. But so you got both 80 20.5s on you. That's pretty cool. Grateful Panic Still Time coin is a challenge coin in brass, and the haptic coin is purely fidget. Okay, haptic. As I might guess from the name. That's pretty cool. I just had a challenge coin I was showing off. My brother-in-law just gave me. Pretty cool. He's a I was gonna say he's a spook. He's not a spook, but you know, he works in that sort of intelligence area of things, and gave me a cool coin. So like having that around. Michael Morgan says, grab a shaman whenever you can. The Mannix will always be there. Why are shaman hard to get? There's a cool new exclusive one that I wouldn't mind, I guess I got to say, with the green micarta on Blade HQ, I think it is. Chris says, I got my honeycomb nimble. Ooh, nice. Nimble T in this morning. She's a beaut and an 80 20.5 shark's foot. Well, I'm about to I have a conversation with EMP EDC coming up shortly. I've had some pretty cool ones recently, and they will be coming out also. But I'll just let you see as they come out. The Dango is a wallet. Okay. And thank you for putting the question in the answer. It helped me remember. Nick Martino says, I aim for whatever is my favorite steel and handle material, then chase that. For me, it's M4 and Jade. I want every Spyderco in the Blade HQ exclusive lineup. You got the Dodo, right? That thing they had for a shocking amount of time. I didn't think they'd have that. I thought that would sell out quicker than anything, the Dodo, because I know for a while people were trying to get their hands on them and they were nowhere to be found. Antonio, good to have you here, sir. Antonio Mundarain. Pardon me. Pulled pork. Carrying the Cold Steel SR. Sorry, you didn't need to know that. Carrying the Cold Steel SR1 and the Spyderco Dragonfly. Did you get, Antonio, did you see Stasa's video on the SR1 this week? He did a video, the toughest knife for the money, and he uses the SR1 light, and it's light in terms of materials. So it's GRN instead of G10, and it's 8CR13 MOV instead of S35VN, which is on the standard SR1. And his video, he abused the hell out of it, and it worked great. You know, as we know, even with the less than stellar blade steels, Cold Steel does whoever does their OEM work does amazing heat treat. So the 8CR holds up, and that SR1 or the SR1 light, awesome knives. I'd love to get one. Todd Carr says the Gerber dime is a small keychain size multi-tool with pliers. Okay, cool. Again, thank you for putting the question in the answer. Kevin Moore, evening, y'all. Well, evening, you fine bunch of junkies. Good to have you here, Kevin. Show enough fine to be in y'all acquaintances. Evening, Bob and Jim. Evening, Kevin. He's getting his Hawaiian shirt ready for tomorrow. High class knives Hawaii says, I really wish Cold Steel would bring back the XL Recons, the 4-inch Talwar, and the Immortal. Yeah, there are a number of ones. I'd love to see the Black Rhino come back. The Black Rhino was one that had the shiny polished G10 and the bolsters with a big fat clip point. Very great knife. Junkies, there's 56 of us here, but only 13 likes. Slash the like button. Yes, that's right. Slash the like button. Is that who knows? Maybe there are a lot of resentful watchers. Shane Gables says, I think the budget knife craze started with the Reich P801 and ended with the Feldspar. Now you all paying anything. Now you all will pay anything. Wait, well, why did it end with the Feldspar? Or yeah, I see how it began with the Reich P801. That was I do remember that kind of causing a splash, but why the Feldspar? I'm interested. EDC Oz, good to have you here, sir. Hello, Bob, Jim, and fellow junkies. Carried today was the Drop Laconico Keen in S35VN. Benchmade Mini Griptilian M4 Sheep's Foot. Very nice. And the SC Azula S35VN micarta. So that Griptilian that you just, that is the Griptilian I want. Sheep's foot, hollow ground blade, opening hole a la Spyderco. Jameson Graff, good to have you here, Jameson. Great work as usual, Bob. Hashtag knife too. Awesome. Okay, well, thank you, sir. Jameson Graff, that's another cool name. Manny Z carried my Lava Flow EXO. Oh, cool. Oh, yeah. And a carbon fiber atom. So that EXO, you're talking about the Riot, right? The gravity knife, right? That's the EXO, right? Okay. Let's do this. Let's do a drawing. Mark Ridgewell, what's up, fellas? Mark, it's good to have you here, sir. Mark, if you want a CRKT CEO, just put hashtag knife in the comments, and perhaps you'll see. That was a great video by Stasa. I agree. I love his videos. He's such a great guy, too. It was cool to carouse with him at Blade Show. I did a bit of carousing with him, and it was fun. SR1 in the pocket. SR1 is a pocket katana. Yeah, for sure. For sure. And this thing is more like a little tiny breast pocket. What do you call that? Quaken. Todd says, sorry, could you go back to Todd's comment? It's a K-Bar BK23 little skeleton. Oh, knife in 8CR. Okay, cool. I mean, that all sounds good to me. 8CR. Q-Ball says, Miguron Valona is a budget knife that kicks the Feldspar's arse. That was cool. We had the Valona here for a short while on loan from Hero Sticks. Maybe it was a little bit longer than a short while, right, Hero? I had that badge for a while. But that was a cool one. That is a very nice. I love the clean lines of that. Shane says the Feldspar was around the last of the great $35 knives. Okay. Huh, that's interesting. The Feldspar I've never had, but I find it compelling to this day because someone was just, we all juggle knives. I don't know if you guys know him, but I've been following him for as long as I've been following Nut and Fancy, and he just discovered the Feldspar and really liked it. So it's been on my mind recently. EDC Oz says Benchmade mini grip is solid, just needs aftermarket scales to make it perfect. I agree. And those aftermarket scales, if they make it slightly longer, and this coming from someone with only medium-sized hands, that's a good thing. Sharp and Stabby. Good to have you here, Sharp and Stabby. Hashtag knife. Good evening, friends. All right. Well, good to have you here, man. Let's do this. Professor EDC, resentful watchers. You are referring to the guy who calls you a salesman for I don't remember what brand or knife. That's funny. As a matter of fact, treated the matter in such a gentleman way, Bob. Oh, well, thank you. No. He said that I was a salesman for all knife brands because I didn't say the first 10 knives someone must have are Victorinox Swiss Army knives. And I'm like, wait a second. You're the one who's saying that the first 10 knives should all be from this one brand. So that makes it sound kind of like you're a salesman. But yeah, that was funny. All right. So shall we do this? You can lead a horse to water, but you can't make it drink. So let's just go with who we've got here. We'll do it in 1 minute. So that gives you 1 minute. If you're breaking down and deciding, you know what, maybe I do want this CRKT CEO designed by the great and powerful Richard Rogers to put on the inside breast pocket of my blazer, or perhaps just to put in my chinos because it's nice and light and people will think it's a pen, but it's actually a really cool knife. So you would just put hashtag knife in the chat and bada bing, bada boom. It's yours. It's yours. And I don't mean to, okay, let's do this. Come on, let's do this. All right, push it. Here we go. Here it comes. Who will get it? We don't know until it stops. Michael Morgan. There you go, Michael. You are the proud owner now, and I am holding, but you are now the proud owner of this CEO by CRKT and Richard Rogers. How does it feel? How does it feel, sir? This is a cool knife. And I got to say, this part reminds me a lot of the doctor's knife of days of old. It had the parallel spine and belly and a flat back to grind up pills. So hopefully that's not a use for this for you, but may you use it in great health for many, many years. So setting this aside, and Michael Morgan, please let me know what your address is, sir. All right, there it is. Always feels good to give, but it also feels good to receive. So how do you decide what to sell? This is my question, because it's looking like I have 3 up for sale, but I need to move. I think I need to move some knives. Just for like sanity sake and lack of option paralysis. I think I have some new ones like this that I just am hooked on, and I don't see any reason why I would get rid of this. But then there are other knives like the Towser K. that is so sweet. I love everything about this knife, except I don't carry it. I just don't carry it because I'm not moved by it. I don't know. I really like the action of it, but it's just not worth having if I'm not going to carry it. And it does have cool, rich light handles, and it does perform really well. But what's the point? So, what are your criteria? Think too many people think price dictates quality. That's interesting, Mark. Yeah, and I've also noticed that people who don't know knives think weight equals quality. So if it's heavy and feels solid, it must be good. Cue Ball says, I actually want to get a few more Sitivian knives. But the ST-103 Sitivians, so I can give them away. Less expensive than a Penguin, but even better in my opinion. So is this the one that I think I might have here that Dave gave me that has the axis lock? And a lot of people have been talking about it recently, and it is just really, really, really good quality. I'm thinking that's probably what you're talking about. I think that would make a great giveaway knife, and will make a great giveaway knife here because it's inexpensive. It's not an overcommitment, but the one that I've handled is super, super solid with great action. Really, really good action for a company called Sitivian that we've barely heard of, to step into the axis lock realm and knock it out of the park with, I think, their first attempt. That's pretty impressive, unless they've been, cloning knives in the past and are used to making them. In any case, pretty impressive. Caleb says, I just sell a knife when it stops bringing me joy. Oh, Caleb, I was afraid I was going to get an answer like that. That's so nebulous. Like joy. Like, you're like, hey, you asked me. Stop second guessing my answer. And yes, I get it. But that just makes it harder for me. I'm trying to make it easier for me because they all bring me joy. Anything with an edge brings me joy in one way or another. Professor EDC says, depending on the need and urgency of cash, yeah, otherwise I take my time selecting what goes. For example, same or very similar blade shape, geometries, profiles, steels, etc. Yeah, that seems like good criteria. Recently, I've been thinking like, well, when I started all this, what's my real thing? And my real thing, as you know, is the tactical stuff. So that's why I feel like the Towser Ks will kind of go by the wayside. Though you could do, you could make it a tactical knife, like you could do anything. Like you can make a pencil a tactical knife, but this will never be the original thing that made me fall in love with it. Not that tastes don't evolve, and mine certainly have, but I don't need an excess of knives that are outside my wheelhouse that I don't use or carry. Mark Ridgewell says, where do you guys sell knives? I sell them. I am old fashioned. I sell them on Blade forums and on YouTube. But I know that some people do Reddit, and so people who are who are in tell Mark, because I think Blade forums is kind of like an old man way of doing it. I just don't think that the forums are where it's at these days. Roll it again, Bob. I won recently. Oh. Are you sure, Michael? I mean, you just won fair and square, sir. But that's right. You did win recently. That's pretty cool. I just want a confirmation from you, sir. Winner, Michael Morgan. Yeah. Drinking this dusty old water. Okay, here we go. We're rolling again. Caleb just won too. Jeez. This is nuts. Caleb, congratulations, man. You are the proud winner now. I hope this brings you joy, Caleb, because it's coming your way, sir. That is the CRKT. Michael Morgan, very generous of you, sir. I thank you. You're a stand-up. You're a gentleman and a scholar and a stand-up guy. I appreciate that. As I'm sure your fellow watchers do too. Todd Carr, so many great knives out there at any price point, from $20 to sky's the limit. I couldn't agree more, Todd. I do love my inexpensive knives. Gonzo has some incredible access lock knives for some 20 to 30 bucks. Yeah, that's because they've been ripping off Benchmade for years and years. SRM has some good, so they're that's San Renmu, right? SRM has some good access lock knives for under $30 as well. Yeah, yep. San Renmu also was doing the access lock before the patent ran out. Stasa did a mod to his Towser K, put a hole in it. Looks so much better. Oh yeah, I bet a hole would look great. And also a bit of a angle there, make it a little pointier would be cool. John Wick killed 3 men in a bar with a fucking pencil. A pencil. Yes, a pencil. So if I were to use a pencil as a weapon, I would want one of those erasers on the end, just to make sure the purchase was tight, you know. But you got to think a pencil is going to break pretty easily unless you get one of those Home Depot pencils, which are round and really thick, or also octagonal slabs. Those would probably do well. People still use the forums. Yes. I don't trust Reddit. I don't know what that is. What am I going to get doxxed? I don't know. Just kidding. I don't know what any. Yeah. James Moore says, does heavyweight mean quality? Sometimes. Boris the Blade says, heavy is good. Heavy is reliable. If it does not work, you can always hit him with it. Yeah, exactly. Exactly. Boris. Caleb says, one of the only CRKTs I'm actually interested in, but too stubborn to buy. Awesome. Thanks, Bob and Michael. And also Dave for donating it, and Jim for spinning the wheel. Caleb, that makes me very happy. I might have your address, but if you don't mind sending it to me, that would help. Let's see. Sharp and Stabby says, do you have your 1558 Revere handy? I've been itching to acquire one. Still like it? Yes, I do. I do still like it. And no, it is just out of reach. Hang on 1 second. I will put something down for you to admire, and I will grab it. It will take me 2 seconds. I want you to check out this really cool 1918 trench knife while I mosey on over here. Yeah. Okay. So yeah, I do like this knife quite a bit. I found the find the Kydex sheath to be a little snug. So I appreciate it in one way because he really kept the profile of it down in terms of square footage, so to speak. But I feel like he put the grommets a little too close to the edge, so it's always kind of pinching the blade. But other than that, that is my one slight gripe. Other than that, I find this to be a really beautiful knife, and that recurve is awesome. I love this knife. So yes, recommend it. I do still love it. Nice and thin, also, by the way, very good for EDC, in my opinion. Michael Morgan, I just got one of Justice Holy. Oh wait, one of Justin of Hilltop, right? Or no, that's BJ Hill. One of Justin's Holy Towsers. Swapped it onto the contoured micarta. Traded the rich light and thumb studs. Ooh, very crafty, Michael. Not crafty, but you know what I mean. I like the way you put that together. That sounds cool. Jay Demeter, good to have you here, Jay. You want a pencil to break, harder to pull out. Oh yeah, no kidding. Probably get, well, I don't know. That's probably the stuff of urban legend, but I would imagine it would be very difficult. EDC Oz says new Axis lock knives are coming out of the woodwork. Best Tech has a new one called the Slasher for under $30. That's an ill-advised name. For under $60, G10 D2. The Slasher. That's like the little Kaiser called the Assassin. First of all, stupid name for a little knife that's not meant for killing people. Second of all, why would you name a knife? It's like the Murderer. Why not just call it Murderer for hire? Slasher. That's a terrible name. One step forward, two steps back, people. Mark Ridgewell says, can't wait to see that Demco fixed blade. Ooh, yeah, that does look nice. Sharp and stabby. Thanks, Bob, he says. Well, oh, my pleasure. Here you go. It's a good one in the hand, too, man. It just feels good to grip. Nice guy, too. Family business. I like the family businesses. What can I say? So let me show you something. Speaking of family, this is not family, but it came back to my little cold steel fiefdom here, and I'm very excited. My buddy Ian, who I've done martial arts with for a long time, who has now become my teacher. I sold this to him years ago, and he and his brother spent the last couple of years turning it into a ruler. It was the dullest knife I've ever experienced. They really dulled the crap out of this knife and then put it in a drawer somewhere. But this is the Cold Steel Voyager large Vaquero, and they don't make this one anymore. And I foolishly sold it a while ago, and then kind of, you hear me regret when I get rid of some certain knives, and this was one of them. And just happy to have it back. So last night I took it apart completely down to the liners, and everything was disassembled, soaked everything, and wiped everything down with alcohol, then flitzed the blade, and then put it back together, sharpen the blades, drop the blade. It is now 100% good to go. I love the Vaquero design based off of the Yatagan, the Turkish knife, with the deep recurve, but the point still center line. So it swoops way down, but comes back up so that you always know where that point is, like a dagger. It's just kind of right down the center, and you can always count on where it's going to be. So very happy to have this back in the collection. It's kind of a cool little pair. And actually last night I went on to eBay and found the small version, the medium, that was only out for a few years, the 3-inch medium, and it was $100, and it looked brand new, old stock, and I really wanted it, and I was just like, just come on, show a little discipline here. Just show a little discipline. You're not going to carry it. You just want it to have like Vaqueros ranging from 3 inches to 6 inches, because I have the old Vaquero Grande, and I thought it would round things out neatly and nicely, but I decided against it. Or did I? Pitt, good to have you here, Pitt. Axis style locks are coming out everywhere as the patent recently expired. Others can now copy it as long as they don't call it Axis lock. Yeah. And, recognition of the fact that it's just a great design. Speaking of great designs, the Atlas lock. What are you all thinking of the Atlas lock? I've been very resistant to get the cold steel with the Atlas lock, and I'm not even remembering the name of it. I just don't like the way it looks. I'm not compelled to buy it. It looks like a very awkward design, but I keep hearing about how great the lock is. So I'm curious what you guys think. Didn't compression lock expire recently? I don't know about that. I do not know about the compression lock. It almost seems like not as universal, though. I can't see people necessarily, or companies necessarily, clamoring to do that lock. But I could be totally wrong. I just asked my wife. Todd Carr says Mall Ninja Knives. Now there's a name for a knife company. Yeah, Mall Ninja Knives. What can I say? I'm a little inspired by the Mall Ninja knife. Hey, what's up? It's a Gungan. Good to have you here. Gas station cutlery. Oh yeah. Hey, let me show you something cool. Or I hope you think it's cool. EDC Oz says first half of the year was the button lock craze. Now it's axis lock madness. Well, it's like the new Kaiser that allows you to take off the scale and adjust the spring tension on the Omega spring under their new axis lock style knife. G-Ball at the in-law says, I dig the Atlas lock, man. The Engage is sweet. Okay, the Engage, that's what it is. I think that this is a solid case of I need to get it in hand and have it in person to really appreciate it. It's a tank, he says. I think that is the case. It also looks very comfortable. Nick says, one lock I do very much enjoy using is the Triad lock. What a fantastic heavy duty knife for EDC use. No kidding, man. That is. The Triad lock is the way to go for EDC heavy use. I want to show this off. I showed this on the Wednesday podcast, but in case you missed it, I was going through my wife's knife pouch to get a couple of things out for the show I was doing, and found this knife. I made this for her a while ago, and it's called the Bella, and that's her nickname there. But this is a knife I made for her to keep in her purse to eviscerate foes and vanquish the unsolicited. She never carries it, but I like it. I think it's still pretty cool. It's pretty dramatic with that hawk bill, and then the upward, the tanto recurve and everything, and then with this sort of handle. What is that? Some sort of Kiranite, I think that is. So I did this with files mostly, and then files and sandpaper, and then had it heat treated at True Grit over on the West Coast. EDC Oz, very cool. Thank you, man. I appreciate that. Yeah, I like it. It's a little bit of humble brag, a little bit of show off, because I saw it and I was like, I made that. That's pretty cool. And then I had it decently heat treated. That's 1095 blade steel. But I've always liked a recurve tanto, and since this is an extreme version, I'll show you why. Because when you look at it in this perspective, you've got a full-on hawk bill, and then you have a full-on trailing point, and in the middle you've got that tip. So this right here. So you've got a lot of different ways to cut. Now, if I had done this triple edge back here, it would have been even cooler. But it's got a skeleton vibe. Ooh, interesting. Yeah, I could see that with all of the curves and all this kind of viscera kind of looking stuff. Yeah, I like that knife. I love Benchmade, even though the Axis lock is my least favorite lock. Ooh, I see you doing that emoji. So what's your favorite lock, Shane? And why is the Axis lock one that you don't trust? Because I think you've had Omega Spring issues in the past. I think you mentioned that last week. Is it that you don't trust it? Let me know. Or are you just joyless and hate fidgeting? No, I'm just kidding. G-Ball says, I've beat up the AD10 and 15 and now the Engage. They definitely are good carpentry work knives, at least. Oh, that's cool. That's good to know. I mean, I know that the 10 and the 15 are awesome, and I can tell because I have them. Also, they look great, and you can tell because Andrew Demko designed them. Something about the Engage is like, oh, I see what they were going for. Dwayne Letterman says, my first cold steel on the way, the Engage. Well, Dwayne, I don't mean to be a snot. I hope it's awesome. Everyone, all my people all the trusted voices out there seem to love it. KC just got one and loved one, right? Am I right, KC? And then Kevin Cleary and everyone has talked about how good it is. Michael Morgan, sub collection, knives we buy our wives knowing they won't carry them. Honey, I got you a Spartan Harsey. Yes, exactly. Yes. What? You don't like 4-inch knives? What do you? The Axis lock is very difficult for me to manipulate with my nerve damaged hands. Okay. That's interesting. Stasa also has some nerve damage in his hands, and so sometimes he'll give feedback about difficulty that he has. So that's pretty interesting. Nick, out of the Benchmade knives, I do have 2 bug outs and an OG 940. Definitely carry the 940 way more than the bug outs. Just feels so much better. I got to say, I was talking about Casey's Pinion, the Tempest Pinion. That knife, to me, does a 940-ish style blade better than the 940. So there you have it. Put that in your pipe and smoke it. Yeah. Get your next new knife at thenifejunkie.com/knives and help support Thursday Night Knives and the Knife Junkie channel. That's cool. We had someone on tonight just saying that very same thing, that they went through They went through they clicked through and got a knife through us. What was it? The Crewware PM2, I think it was. Yep. So since I have some knives out here, let's oh wait, what did I want to? There was one. All right, I'll remember it in a minute. There was one I wanted to show special though. Steve O. Taylor, good to have you here, Steve O. Kershaw for my wife, assisted open. That's funny. My wife too. She really likes she's got an RJ Martin, and I can never remember the name of it, but an RJ Martin designed one that she has just for years loved. And I got it for her years ago, and I've gotten her many other nicer things since, but man, she just really bonded with that. And I got to say, RJ Martin, you could pick worst designer to bond with. Michael Morgan says the pinion is the forest. Oh, is the forest for us? That's pretty good. Ain't no justice, just us. Yeah, ashes to ashes, dust to dust. If anyone can tell me what song that was from, I'll be surprised, and maybe I'll send you a. But you cannot Google it. If you do, God will know. And I won't send you, but if you do know what that is, I'll send you a little treat. Steve-O says a Kershaw leek with a horizontal scabbard. Yes, also for my wife. Kershaw leek with a horizontal scabbard. That's interesting. It's such a small knife. Why would you need a little or maybe you don't need, maybe that's just your preferred carry. Hero Stick says, still feels weird saying it, but the dick pic was the best gift I've given my wife yet. That's funny, man. The dick pic from Wingard Wearables, a pic for thrusting and all sorts of stuff. You can do all sorts of stuff with that thing. I've seen him put up videos of the different uses. I have not gotten that, but I'm holding out for the XL back ripper, and he's got a couple of other cool things coming. I know he's working on a pipe tomahawk, which I'd love to have. Basically, I'd like to have any tomahawk he comes out with, because though he makes a whole bunch of cool stuff, to me, his tomahawks absolutely take the cake. Good stuff. Okay. So this one has been, now when I got this 2 years ago, almost, I was talking about it a lot. This is the Boone 2 by Bark River Knives. And the reason I was talking so much about it is I was feeling nostalgic, and I don't know, I'm always a little bit sentimental. I always have a little bit of nostalgia going on. And I remember 2 summers ago, I was going through this thing inside where I was feeling like I was missing a time that I never even lived through, which was like the earlier part of the 20th century, kind of pre-war, before. I don't know. I have this idea in my mind that everything was so much better and life was so much more innocent. And I'm sure it's not the case, but I don't know. Maybe we idealize times we haven't lived through. But I was idealizing early America, and I was imagining, every dad on a camping trip in America in the 30s, or whatever, 40s. I don't know. I don't even know. See, that's the thing. It's just this vague notion. But that this is a classic American knife that every every recreating male out in the woods had on him. Does this make sense, or am I just talking total nonsense? Steve-O says, and if I am, you keep that to yourself. Major Tom is a junkie. Yes, I do. But that's not it. But he is. We do know that. We know. I'm not going to do that. Sorry. But yeah, the stacked leather handle, the sort of proto K-bar blade. It's just sort of a classic outdoor clip point camp blade. And, if forced, you could turn it into something more. This reminds me of what an early combat knife must have looked like before the K-bar was codified and mass produced. You could see people taking knives like this into combat, hunting knives, but also that Appleseed edge, that convex edge is so sharp and yet stout, that I don't know, these knives, this knife in particular, just something about it uh, makes me feel nostalgic. What can I say? I can't give my wife a knife I want because she might like it and keep it. We started carving and whittling together, so she is into knives. That's a cool thing to do together. I don't show her my collection because you never know. Oh my God. So we're at the pool tonight, Professor. This is to your point, kind of. Well, in a way, we're at the pool tonight, and I'm sitting there with my wife and a couple of neighbors, and we're just talking. And then one guy says, "So, Bob, how many knives do you have?" And I was just like, "Dude, really? In front of my wife, you're gonna ask me that? Like, how much money did you spend on your car?" No, I didn't say that, but I thought it was funny. How many knives do you have? And I made the joke, you're going to say that in front of my wife. And then she said, actually, I bought him the tool chest he puts it in. So she's well aware. She's well aware of what she's got, what she got herself into. Shane says, Bob, lots of us long for a time we've never experienced. Alaska is still an option. No kidding. Yeah, yeah. And you know what, Shane? Like I'm very used to modern amenities. I know that my longing for a time I haven't experienced is like, based on fantasy, based on not knowing, based on not taking into account that if I were to go back, then I probably wouldn't like the toilet paper back then. Or maybe you know, I mean, there are so many things about our lives that are different from when I was a kid, in terms of convenience, in terms of ease, uh, that we take for granted that we don't think of. So if I were sent back to that time that I ideal, the movie Chinatown, I love that movie. I idealize that movie. But to live then is probably a lot harder than I give it credit for. The Bowie blade shape is timeless. I agree with you, EDC Oz. Let me show you. Let me show you a great Bowie shape that I love. I show this one off quite a bit, but this one right here. This is the Shining Mountain Bowie. This is also a Bark River Knives knife. But just look at that shape. That shape is so perfect. It is such a perfect knife for everything it's used for. Uh, as a camp knife, as a heavy duty outdoor chores knife, as a hunting knife, as a fighting knife, as a weapon. And when I say hunting knife, I'm not exactly sure what I'm talking about, because you probably wouldn't use this gigantic knife to carve up an animal, but you might use it to quarter an animal. I don't know. But yeah, classic knife, classic shape. Let me show you this other somewhat classic Bowie, modern classic. I wanted to show this because it gets very little love here on the show, but has gotten so much love out there in life. And that this is my Trailmaster Bowie, and I've had this one, I don't know, definitely over 20 years, but I don't know how much further. But I've had that knife a long time, and it's been on a couple of adventures. How many knives do you have? He says, oh, none of your business. No, not as many as you might think. Not as many as some, more than many. Actually, I don't know. I actually don't know. If I were to bring them all together, including swords and machetes and tomahawks and all that, I don't know. I don't know. Maybe 300, like with everything, like including everything, maybe. I mean, every little thing, but probably less than that. Yes, less than that, let's say. Byron Kennedy said, that's how I got my first knife. It was a K-Bar 4-inch Hunter, like a number 1232. I don't know that one. Stack leather handle from my father. I used for hunting and more fishing. Okay. Oh, that's cool. 4-inch Hunter. Um, and that's how I got it. So Byron's first knife is kind of hearkening back to this thing that I'm talking about with this knife. That's a cool first knife to have, man. If you're thinking ashes to ashes, we all fall down. It's throwing stones, Grateful Dead. Otherwise, I'm clueless. No, nope, that's not it. That's not it. But I will say it before before we're done. And I don't know, many of you probably don't know it, and it's totally random that I happen to know it because it's not exactly the kind of music I listen to. But you'll see. Professor EDC, oh, she knows how many knives I have, and I have them with the price list in case I die. There are a couple which will go to a few people, and the rest just don't want to see them in a swap meet. Yes. That is a big thing. And we all, God, I don't even like talking about this, but we all imagine we're going to live for a lot longer, most of us, and I too. And so the plan is to reduce the collection over many, many years, but who knows? So yeah, I've sort of put in place a couple of measures to sort of let them know that they're not, don't just like sell them all in a big box for not too much. Like, here are some people you might want to reach out to find the value of some of these things. And I'm not going to talk about it. Delilah Rose, good to have you here, Delilah. Emily in Paris did a song burst into flames with those lyrics. Emily in Paris did a song burst into flames with those lyrics. What does that mean, Delilah? I don't even know what that means. Emily in Paris did a song burst. No, but you all might know what this is. We'll get to it. I'm going to write it down just so I don't forget. But what does that mean about the song burst into flames? Just like, get with it, old man. Okay, I'm just writing it down. Okay, Todd. Yes, you. Is it Chuck Berry? No, it's not. It's definitely not Chuck Berry. Buddy Holly? No. Todd Carr. Yes, you definitely use a knife like that to take care of an animal. Put a lanyard around your forearm and grip the blade with your hand. A hand for finer. Yes, for finer tasks, indeed. Elvis? No. Kep McNessart, $10. A salute to your Shining Mountain Bowie. It inspired me to pick up an Edwin Forrest Bowie from Bark River. Oh, sweet. This would be a cool thing to a cool sub collection would be to have all the Shining Mountain or all of the Bark River knife Bowies. They have some. I just saw a Michigan Bowie up for sale, and I was just like, and that was on Blade Forums. You're not going to find that on your fancy Reddit. Okay, Ketmuk, here you go. Here's the salute with the Shining Mountain Bowie to the Shining Mountain Bowie. So I appreciate this this super chat, sir. Thank you very much. Let me show this off. So Ketmuk took this out somewhere cool and somewhere I couldn't bring it, and showed it a good time. I couldn't show it. I'm just glad it had those moments of happiness out there in the wilderness before it came back to live in suburbia as my fantasy weapon. So thank you, Ketmuk, for showing my Shining Mountain Bowie a good time. And thank you for letting it inspire you to get an Edwin Forrest Bowie. Though I don't know what that one looks like. I have to look it up now. Here's your salute. Thank you, sir. Look at that. What a gorgeous knife. All right, sir. Thank you, Ketmuk. Look at that. What a chunk. All right. Nicely done, Ketmuk. Nicely done on the purchase of your new Edwin Forrest Bowie. That sounds awesome. High Class Knives Hawaii says Ashes to Ashes, song Shine Bad Boys. No. That's a good guess, but no. There's no justice, just us. Ashes to ashes, dust to dust. Woody Guthrie, I cheated. No, unless the person I'm thinking of stole from Woody Guthrie. But no, yes. Ninth Chamber, Devil's Pie, D'Angelo. That was a really, really good album, and nice pull there at Ninth Chamber. Hopefully you didn't look that one up, but what a great song that is. The name of the song is Burst Into Flames. Okay. Delilah, I can be slow sometimes. First of all, and second of all, it's good to have you here. I think you're new here. I don't recognize your name. Q-Ball. One of my to-do list items is to have my will completed by the end of the year. You never know. That's a good to-do list item. As a matter of fact, one of the podcasts I listen to has been nagging me with advertisements about getting my will done, and so I got to do that too. Jose Abdul Favela, good to have you here, Jose. 2 5-inch Stroop knives arriving tomorrow from KC. Very nice. Warncliffe and Clip Point. Oh, dude. I fell off the wagon. Wasn't supposed to buy any more knives for 2 months. I only lasted 1 month and 1 week. That's good. That's not bad. That is better than 50%. But what's with the aliens? Did the aliens make you do it? You know, I saw your little emoji aliens and UFOs there. Are we blaming this on our extraterrestrial brothers? EDC Oz says Bark River is a solid buy, excellent warranty service. Yes, and very, very solid and stout knives. And I love the traditional construction and looks of them. They are definitely heirloom. You know that term, heirloom quality knives. Well, you know, I got news for you. The cheapest Gerber you have is heirloom quality, because these things are all made of materials that are going to last a long time. But I think what heirloom quality really means is it's worth passing down to the generation. Just because it can last doesn't necessarily mean it's worth. D'Angelo Off the Belly soundtrack. Well, this was for me, it was D'Angelo off of that album. I can't remember what it was called now. But it was a full album that was as good as that song. That was a really good album. And that was just a random thing from a place I worked. My knives go to my grandson, and my daughter knows their values. That's cool, Shane. Yeah, my girls have staked out a couple, you know. I definitely know since my younger daughter was an infant, she's been drawn to the Rockeye Automatic ProTech all black. So that'll go to her. Shane, my niece and nephew will split my collection, says Cue Ball. That's cool, Cue Ball, to give it to your niece and nephew. That's a nice little remembrance. Ninth Chamber. I grew up in the 90s hip hop. Remember the movie Belly? Yeah, I kind of do. Well, yes, even had the soundtrack. That's cool. I'm glad that someone pulled that. And actually, that means, okay, Ninth Chamber. Why don't you send me your address? Just do it through the website, and yeah, send me your address. I'll send you a little something for that lyric. All right. Wow, we've gotten a lot done here tonight. We got the CRKT CEO won twice. First to Michael Morgan, who very generously said spin again. And this one now going to Caleb Townsend, who has always wanted the CRKT CEO, but always felt a little guilty, or, you know, felt like he needed a goading. And this is the goading he got. Professor EDC, my wife, weren't you not going to buy any knives the whole year? Me. Me no seen, me no hear, me no. What do you mean? What? Yeah. Well, Professor, we try to keep it here to no new knife November. But sometimes November can be a hard month to do that in. Mine will probably go to my niece as well, says Todd Carr. Well, you know, also, let's not overburden the next generation with too many things. So, of course, there's always the sudden option, which we don't like to think about. But if we have all the years that we're planning on having, you know, we should slowly start to dribble them out and then have a core. But I don't know, how do you do that? What do you leave as the core? You know, like this would definitely be in the core. But, you know, this might not be my daughter's ball of wax here, but who wouldn't want this? I mean, let's face it. That's pretty sweet, isn't it? So I just have to say right here, right now, no Thursday Night Knives next. I was about to say Tuesday. No Thursday Night Knives next week on the 18th of August. I will be doing something fun, which I will report back on the following week, and that following week will also be the Gentleman Junkie knife giveaway. So we wanted to get some knife giveawayage here this night. Before we wrap, I just want to talk about two quick. I want to talk about this. A new mushroom knife from Fox. And you say, mushroom knife, Bob? That's an awfully weird topic. But mushroom knives have recently kind of gotten my attention. There's the let's see, Victorinox has one, and Opinel has one, and now Fox has one. Now, let me tell you why I've been interested in the mushroom knife. It's because of the curved blade. I've seen people take them and alter them and turn them into Pikal style knives. And here we have a locking, very classy design from Fox Knives for mushroom. What do they call it? Foraging. You've got that really classy looking curved blade with sort of nail nick up front, and then also a liner lock and thumb stud. And then you have the brush on the back. So the brush, there's a brush, and there's also some serrations right on the back curve part of the blade to scrape something of the mushroom off. I'm not exactly sure. I've never gone foraging. But that brush in the back also folds in. So the whole thing goes into a little package, and it has a pocket clip. Two different woods, olive wood and eucalyptus or something. But I love the way these things look. And this would be something that would be worth getting. It's called the Spora, by the way. It'd be something kind of cool to get and to modify. Maybe remove the brush altogether and slightly alter the handle and turn this into a self-defense knife. I mean, because it has the look to it. It has the things you would need out of that kind of knife. It turns out the same qualities you used in harvesting mushrooms, you might use in harvesting, a bad guy were he to bring himself too close to you. So I don't know. I just think it's cool. What do you guys think? Am I just seeing, is this pareidolia? Am I looking at this and seeing a tactical knife when really there's not a tactical knife to be seen? You tell me. What's the answer? And then also Gerber knives. Now they've impressed me a couple of times over the past year, especially with the Zilch and then for $20, and then the Sedulo for $125 made in the United States with S35 and their axis lock, which is very good. But they also still have some out there, and but they're targeting this new EDC fixed blade market with two new releases that look basically identical. One just has black coating and no micarta handles, and the other one does. But they are the Dibs and the Stowe, and I think they have a pretty compelling shape. You've got a broad, fully flat ground blade, so it's going to be nice and slicey. It's under 3 inches, so it's going to be nice and legal most places. And then something that you see on fixed blade knives that I like a lot is when the blade is broad like this and acts as the blade guard, as the hand guard, so that if you're using this to cut through a stubborn clamshell packaging or something like that, and you're pushing forward, yes, you'll have that pommel nestled into your palm, but also it's nice to know that your fingers are not going to go up onto that blade, which hopefully is nice and razor sharp. Interesting looking plunge grind. It comes all the way. It is a great opportunity to have a good plunge grind, and it looks kind of like they blew it in that it's a little, like the grind itself is a little broad, and therefore doesn't leave you much to sharpen up into. But maybe that's hard to tell from a picture. But yeah, interesting. The knives are nice, but I like what they're doing in terms of trying to penetrate this EDC fixed blade market. Pretty cool. Those are fall releases from Goiba. Byron says, let's face it, most of our offspring are going to look at our stuff like we looked at our grandpa's tin wheel and stick toy and either chuck it or sell it for a lightsaber 8800. Sad but true, Byron. Sad but true. The little the Hinderer lightsaber of the year of the month. I only purchased one knife between Blade Show 2021 and 2022. Shane, what was it? Was it the Contigo? I don't know. I don't know. Happy early birthday, Bob. No, yours is close to mine. Mine is August 16th. That's right. Mine's the 17th. My sister's is the 16th. Leo brother, Nick. Paisan, fellow Paisan, fellow Leo. I love it. That's very good. We have truffles and lots of shrooms up here in the Pacific Northwest. I'm in. The brush is to clean off the forest residue. How cool. Oh, Hero, this is for you. Olive wood or eucalyptus, your choice. But man, it looks cool. And I'm glad to know that someone out there is going to get that and report back. Professor EDC says, see, that's what I was talking about. I had a Mora knife of those, and guess who liked it and kept it? Gee, let me guess. But that's cool because it's in the family. You need it, you can just go to her dresser, wherever she keeps it, and grab it. The Gerber Gator in 154 cm is a fine cutting tool. Yeah, and the Gator, that is a vintage Gerber at this point. I mean, that knife, it's a big clip point blade, does not have a pocket clip. It resides in a pouch on your belt, and it's got a big thick handle. That's an awesome knife. The Gator. I forgot all about that knife. Wizard of Todd, good to see you, Wizard. Haven't bought a Gerber since my Gator in the 90s. Yeah, I never got a Gator, but I did have my dad had a really cool sort of stylish 110 analog in the 70s. That got me to really like Gerber. LOL, button lock mushroom knife. That'd be pretty funny. Sorry. Todd Carr says, only thing I would buy from Gerber is their USA made multi-tools. Todd, I gotta say, and I'm not suggesting you buy it, but if you want to check it out, the Sedulo is American made, and it is really good. It is really good. S30V, not S35. I said S35 before. S30V, made in the United States in Portland, I believe. Very good axis lock and a very stout handle. It's a good knife. Bob, I traded for the Contigo, did lots of trades last year. Now I have a collection that I don't want to get rid of anything. That's a good position to be in. That's where we all kind of want to get down to. Reduce and refine, people. I say. I preach from my mound of knives. Yeah. I'll even take the cheap ones, like the super cheap ones. CPM, buy and hold quality. Cash is trash. People holding cash lost 20% permanently. Yeah, that is for sure. And, I used to explain to my wife the reason my knife collection is so large is this is future planning. This is for bartering after the bottom falls out, and the dollar doesn't mean anything. People will still need knives and we'll still need food. So we'll trade knives for food. So then I went out and bought like 100 of those $2 cheap ass folders from Walmart. Like, I'll trade these first. I gutted and cleaned my first buck with a Gerber Gator. Oh, that's cool. I love the blade shape of that Gerber Gator. It's a classic clip point. Got the Meyer Chin Gen 2. Gen 2 Swiss Army knife, cadet in blue A-locks in left pocket. CRKT Ritual, that's such a cool one, in the right pocket. Good times. Meyer Chin. I don't know what the Meyer Chin is. Oh, man. I'm losing touch. People. Hero Sticks. Anyone handled the GM Ace Nibbler? Oh, that tiny little guy. That is a cool looking thing in the anodized aluminum. Very nice looking knife. Professor EDC, it has taken me years, but I have reduced the collection to a third of what it was. That's pretty impressive. Sometimes it just takes disciplined hacking. Hag 90, I'm back. What did I miss? Hag, the show's about to end, sir. But you know what? You can watch it in replay. Hag, it's always good to have you here. It's always good to have all you guys here. Thank you so much for joining us tonight. And man, 2 hours goes by like that. On Thursday nights. And as Jim has put this up, if you have missed a replay, you can always watch it. There's a whole Thursday Night Knives playlist. And speaking of playlists, the channel has everything in playlists. All of my knife close-ups are in a playlist, and podcast, Thursday Night Knives, they're all in playlists. So if you want to get hooked on one particular type of content, you can just scroll right through and hit them one after the other. Speaking of which, on Sunday, we have James Williams of Williams Blade Design. James Williams is an acclaimed Japanese martial arts master who has mastered a lot of different arts, designed a lot of knives based on Japanese knives, and has taught a lot of high speed, low drag operators how to dispatch their enemy in subtle and final ways. Very interesting conversation with James Williams. He is an engaging guy for sure. So be sure to check that out. Join us on Wednesday, the midweek supplemental, and then right back here 2 weeks from now for Thursday Night Knives when we do the Gentleman Junkie giveaway. Thank you, Jim and Bob. Love everyone in here. Hope everyone has a great weekend, says Nick. Nick, thank you, sir. I appreciate you, and I appreciate all the rest of you. You have a wonderful week, and we will talk to you real soon. Oh, yeah. Also, be sure download us right here on the podcast apps. All right. For Jim working his magic behind the switcher, I'm Bob DeMarco saying until next time, please don't take dull for an answer.